Hey, Stephen, this is Andrew Bradley. Just wanted to touch base with you. Thanks for being patient with me over the holiday weekend. Uh, this is your house, as you see, 3336 Cain Harbor Drive. The record keeps showing at 1440. We'll get into that in a second. So I'm flipping over to the tax record. As you can see, same house. It shows what you paid, 157 a few years ago, and then again the tax record is showing it at 1440. The comparables have improved. I kind of shot some numbers out at you, which I really hate to do when I'm meeting somebody at the house, but since I did see that your house was in really good condition, I did throw some numbers out there, and I think you'll be pleased because things have only gotten better. These are our comps for the last 6 months. I didn't even have to go out further to get 3 good comps. In fact, I had 5 very solid comps. And as I go through these, I'm just going to hover over them. Normally what I would do is I'd click on some of the photos and stuff, but I went ahead and eliminated all the ones that had carpet downstairs and just kept the ones with hardwood floors because I had enough good numbers. So as I go over this, you'll see what they sold for per square foot. 121, 118, 125, that's our highest by a long shot, and 120 and 121. So that kind of solidifies that 120 number. Literally just 6 months ago, that number would have been 112 to 115. I was able to eliminate some of those because of just various things. I've shown a lot of them, and I was able to say, well, I know why this one sold for 115 is because it had a tiny backyard, etc. And so the other thing we look at is the active market, what we call the market retention or a competitive market, and we kind of look and see what's out there. This highlighted in yellow means that it already has a contract. So if we we roll over here, you'll see that they got a contract when they were listed at 126, but the sales price is still empty. We don't know. They're not supposed to disclose what their price is until they close. It's a slightly smaller house, so if you were to get, they're probably within 2% of that. So they're probably about 124 to 126, somewhere in there. That's just a good rule of thumb. In Davidson County right now, people aren't negotiating more than about 2%. And then this one right here is 130 a square foot. The important thing to note is they don't have a contract, and they do. So that tells you that they're kind of trying to exceed the price per square foot. So that would be pretty discouraging, except that when I look at the house here, you'll see nothing wrong with the outside of the house particularly. It doesn't look very lived in. It doesn't show that it's a foreclosure, but here's the kicker. When I look at this, you'll see that this is really under marketed home. There's no photos of the inside. Looks like there's stickers on the window. They've stretched it too far to try to get 130, and we really still don't know the inside condition. So anyway, that'll kind of give you an idea of what we're up against. What that means is that if we were to come in, since this one already has a contract at 126, there would literally be no competition in that price range. Makes me hope that we can go all the way up to 130. Okay, so here's the market analysis of your house. Basically, we need to listen to reality. That's the most important thing. I'd rather spend 20 minutes talking about this and spend 2 minutes talking about the other, because if I throw out what I call fantasy land and you get stars in your eyes, then you may mishear what I'm saying. And basically, the reality, as we scrolled through those, you will remember that our lowest one was 118 all the way up to 125 a square foot. I just narrowed that in to 120 to 125. There's no reason that we should have to sell for 118 with your backyard and the raised panel cabinets. It just looks really sharp, and the awning in the back. So we're going to be between 120 and 125 a foot. So we're going to try to get you and your wife just grounded in the reality of the situation. I need to tell you that that's what your house is worth. Your house would likely sell for 123 a square foot. I just kind of took the mean number there, which would bring it out to 177. So there shouldn't be any major surprises. If you're selling for 177, you haven't failed, you've done well, you've sold for what everybody else has sold for. Okay, so now this is the fun part. This is where I get into what I call fantasy land, and this is where I get excited to kind of like build value in Donaldson, and just because I love it here. So inventory is sparse. The home listed at 130 square foot has predictably failed to sell. They might have stretched too far, but their marketing so far. So The home for 126 has a contract, and so we should be able to stretch somewhere between that 125 number and the 130 a square foot. So to do the math there, at 130 a square foot, you'd be looking at 187. Well, that's nearly $10,000, and $10,000 is a lot of money for you guys, because you've just been paying little payments, but it's a big check when you walk away from the closing table. So my suggested list price is actually that we try to exceed the market by a good bit, and we go to 189. If so, we'll be the highest listed house for a long time, but we'll still be providing the best value. I'm not nuts. I don't want to list it at a price that's unrealistic. But even if that price comes down 10 grand, you're still where you need to be. And we'll get to test the market to see if people are willing to pay that. Now, when we go up to 189, we have the problem of appraisals. As you can see, we don't have 3 comps. They're going to average out to 189. Appraisers should give a little room for appreciation. They may even make adjustments for your awning. They may make an adjustment for the lot. On new work, they charge you for the lot, but most of the time they don't give you much value on the resale on the lot. So that's where I'd want to start. And as I always tell people, appraisal right now is just another part of the negotiation. We negotiate the price, we negotiate the repairs, and then if the appraisal comes back low, we negotiate the appraisal. I'm not going to hyper focus on that, but say we get a contract at 185, we still may end up at 179 or 177 because the appraiser just won't come off the amount that he's coming up with, and they're not very negotiable at all. So anyway, just wanted to let you know we're ready to roll on this end. I know you guys need to start looking at houses, but I know you have a contingency plan as well. So take a look at this and give me some feedback. Shoot me a text or give me a call as soon as possible once you and your wife have had a chance to look through this. And we've got nothing but time for you guys, so let us know. Thanks.